السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. As you all know, that we have been studying how reasonable the news of the resurrection that we get from the Quran for us now, here, and in this lifestyle, whatever we are doing here. It's a strange life, strange civilization, which doesn't really pay much attention to the reality of the resurrection and the reality of what this word refers to. So, under the evidence of the universe, the existence of this world, and the reality of human beings, we are going to examine, is it really reasonable or even necessary to accept that there must be a permanent life after our apparent death in this world. Of course, it is not that easy to comprehend and confirm it because it has no evidence that somebody went there and came back and witnessed that really it happened to me. So you have to accept it will happen to you too, which is not the case. But nevertheless, as the text continuously emphasizes on the witnessing of the reality of human beings as well as the universe, pointing to the qualities of their creator. So we said last week, the last point we made last week, that there is strange things are going on in this world because we human beings understand that in the universe there is an apparent justice, or there is an apparent sign that the creator is a just. But sometimes, in some occasions, it doesn't seem to be. So we discussed about it and we said, look, some people really transgress the rights of others, do something wrong to others, not only human beings, to other creatures as well. Animals, plants, maybe the earth. Well, now everybody's talking about the pollution in the oceans, in the air, and the destruction of the rainforests, which are the lungs of the earth, so that we are provided through these rainforests and fresh air for us. We desperately need to live, to continue on. These kinds of all wrongings, maybe between human beings as well, they are cheating each other, deceiving each other, etc. So there is no justice there, apparent. They need to be adjusted, made it right. But in this world, it seems to be everybody dies and seems to be become equal. On the other hand, those people who are really loyal to the realities of the witnessing of this world, as well as to the realities of human beings, so what they are doing is really good and appropriate action. This is the best thing expected of any human being, And they don't really get any reward by dying away, perishing away at the moment of death. These two important contradictions must be solved and answered. And the text says it is indeed necessary for another realm of existence, which is appropriate to the power, the quality of the Creator who introduces himself to us through this universe, that he is an absolute being with absolute qualities, must not be doing something wrong, must be wise enough to accomplish this very essential need for every human being. As long as the justice is not established, I cannot soothe my emotions. I'm not satisfied in both senses, positive sense, rewarding the obedient people, and negative sense, punishing the disobedient people. So there must be a solution for it. Now, that was the summary of last week. In short, let's continue now on the 10th truth, pointing to the reality of the necessity of resurrection. In short, considering the utter disparity between, on the one hand, this state of affairs, which see together with the universal fusions of life and the swift separation of death, the imposing gatherings and the rapid dispersions, the magnificent revolutions and the great manifestations, and on the other hand, the petty fruits we see briefly attained in this transient world, the temporary and insignificant purposes of beings that pertain to this world. Now, we conclude that the non-existence of the hereafter would mean attaching to a little stone wise, purposes as great as mountains, and to a great mountain, a purpose as petty as a small stone. No intelligence or wisdom can find this acceptable. We see this contradiction. Human beings potentially are expecting a full satisfaction. That's how I am created, how I am made. And what happens here? The one who creates this universe, whoever it is, makes a huge effort, as far as I can see and witness in the universe, and decorates this universe, and decorates with the limitless feelings, expectations of the human beings. And although we see that as the one who created this universe can do it, can continue making my life perfect, accomplish my expectations. He is the one who is doing this universe, but I get old and die. Come on, it can't be his wise action. There must be something behind it. It means, as the author says, a little stone really preventing me from fulfilling my expectations. Little stone means death. As compared to God's, the Creator's qualities, just he always recreate the things from seeds, for example, simple example, from eggs, perfect creation. It is for him to create me again as he created me in the beginning and right now as well. as he gave me life and death. That is his organization, his arrangement. It is obviously a conscious arrangement. So it is very small thing for him, even nothing to really to be worth mentioning. Come on. But for him, for the one who created the universe, to give me a satisfactory life is nothing. You look at the huge universe and the qualities manifested in it. So, but as far as I am concerned, that is God's side. As far as I am concerned, it is extremely important for me. Can you imagine? Can I really, in my own life, imagine that my life and existence will disappear at death? Which kind of creator he is? I go crazy. I mean, say, which kind of maker are you? Whatever you are. Even I don't know, I don't describe God as the creator of the universe, the supreme being, almighty. No. Whatever it is. Even I would say, nature is doing that. Whatever this nature thing is, shouldn't be that crazy. Must be something meaningful. Because the existence of the universe is meaningful, but what is happening to me has no meaning whatsoever at the end of my life. This is an obvious contradiction at any circumstances, unacceptable for any human mind and reasoning. So we understand that no intelligence or wisdom can find this acceptable. That is a very rational conclusion which convinces my heart fully. Yeah, it is impossible to accept this assumption that death is the end of everything, finished. To my intelligence, to my wisdom, no. It is not the answer at all. There must be something else. So let's go back, continue. In other words, this lack of proportion between beings and these matters on the one hand, and their purposes pertaining to this world on the other, demonstrates with certainty that all beings have their faces turned to the world of meaning. Now, look at this. Another perspective is presented to us in this paragraph. Everything is worth existing because they represent the meaning manifested in them, the qualities manifested in them. Otherwise, I wouldn't really be satisfied with anything of this world at all. So this is a lack of proportion between beings. What I understood from this phrase, that everything is pointing to a meaning, and the meaning turns out to be what I see. The meaning, what they see, that this creator, whatever the originator of this universe is, must have an absolute infinite qualities. But as far as I'm concerned, all these qualities turn to nothing when I think of my death. Now, it means I don't care. For example, somebody invited me to his house. He showed me so great banquets and merciful treatment, compassionate treatment. And at the end, he says, okay, trust me, I can do everything. When I am hungry, he says, no eating. What? No, I don't want to give my property to you. Come on. Who are you? No, excuse me, you brought me here first, and you showed me that you can have enormous amount of banquets and demonstrated that you do it. But when I stretch out my hand, you said, no, Can you accept this? Is it possible? It means this man is really meaning to torture you. But you see that the universe doesn't have any sign of craziness as far as its creator is concerned, or the source of existence is concerned. So we conclude here their ultimate aim. Their ultimate aims pertain to the world. This alone is impossible. So there must be something in it. There must be a wisdom. For this man who invited me and demonstrated that he's so generous, and also made me made me in a position that I feel hunger. So I need to satisfy my hunger. He says, okay, when you are hungry, don't stretch your hand and die of hunger, because we human beings are hungry for an eternal bliss, which is appropriate to the kindness of the creator of this world as we are experiencing here. So let's read the following paragraph. While their substance is hidden beneath the soil of this world, their flowers will unfold in the world of similitudes. Man's sows and is sown in this world. In accordance with this capacity, the harvest is gathered in the hereafter. There's something going on in this world. We are doing something, good or bad, and lots of life, different experiences of lives. So, we are sowing. It means, for example, in a simple example, I use it because I love to see this word as a school, educational institution. I love to see it because I feel that I'm a student here. I am learning. It means I'm sowing some things in my being so that my potentialities are growing. At the end of school, I am given a degree, and I say, okay, I'm holding the degree now. As soon as I attempt to get out of this college and start my enjoyment of what I have sown, it means harvesting now. And I am put in the school's graveyard, cemetery, and that's it. You are done. Gone. Why did I? Why was I put in this position to learn, and have lots of promises as I'm learning? I'm going to practice. I'm going to enjoy it. And at the end, I invested in my life, and my life is invested in the school itself. The author is reasonably says it is impossible. It is impossible. The one who established this educational institution is not crazy. He's teaching you really acceptable, nice things that to learn and develop my abilities. He gave me lots of potential, infinite potentialities to appreciate him as the founder of this school. Now at the end, I say he's crazy, because I see that all my peers are buried in this yard of the school, where it looks like a graveyard, and at the end of everything, it is impossible. No, it is no way to accept that. There is no there's no another existence really appropriate to the powers, qualities of the establisher of this school of universe. And we are the students. Now, if you look at, do you have any comment? If you have any comments, anything, just raise your hand or let me know, or write something in the, if you have any problems with speaking, well, I don't see you have any, but write in the chat. I would like to have really a communication with all of you here. So I can continue if you don't raise your hand and write anything, but anytime you can really interrupt me because I keep speaking, don't worry about it. If you look at the aspect of things that is turned toward the divine names and the hereafter, it means eternal. The divine names means absolute qualities, and the hereafter means absolute quality. This states permanent manifestation, absolute qualities, really. So the divine names and the hereafter, you will see that each seed in miracle of power has an aim as vast as a tree. Now, like really what we see in this world, each seed is given the quality miraculously to have an aim to become a huge tree. Example, this is a simple example. A human cell, small human cell, not small, even you cannot really see it. So, but it means with your naked eye, you cannot see it. It exists, it's there, and it is loaded with the quality to become a perfect man with enormous capacity, not only bodily. Now body is, it's very simple. You can even ignore it as having some value. It is valuable, but as compared to human qualities, intelligence, senses, feelings, body, the quality of the existence of the body is really insignificant compared to my intelligence, my understanding, my feelings, or endless feelings, of course. So if it is a simple body is created in such a way that points and really emphasizes the importance of paying attention to its reality, that this small cell has been loaded with the potentiality to become a perfect man. Now, see what will happen now. This tree and the seed, as it starts really perfecting, growing, but death comes and gives an end to it, finish. What? What are you doing? Are you crazy? Can you imagine a simple farmer sows the seed, tills the land, does whatever the cultivation needs to be done, and then as the seeds open up and started growing, he butchers all of them. Why? Meaningless. What do you say? What do you say? This farmer either is crazy or wasting. I mean, meaningless. But as he does his job, he does it perfectly. There's no sign of craziness. There is no sign of really unwise, being an unwise man. It is so obvious. So, I mean, to me, this case is closed, finished. Definitely, there must be another creation, another life, in a form. I don't know. I don't have to know. I am not the architect of this world. I am just the one who needs it perfectly and desperately. So, but the architect is the one who created and, if you like, modeled me for this purpose. So It is his duty. As he created me as his duty, he will give me the eternal life as his duty. I'm not interested in whether how he is going to do it. Is it really possible for me? No, of course not. So we should now think that the creation of the resurrection or new life, a permanent happy life, cannot be perceivable, conceivable, understandable within human capacity. But we understand it must definitely happen. And it must be realized by the one who created this universe, not me. I didn't create anything, let alone the universe. So I should not measure it within my own capacity, which some, biased, materialistically opinionated people say it is impossible. That's the reality of Lord, because as if he's going to do it. Of course, if you think that accidentally it will happen, no, nothing happens in this world accidentally, and nothing will happen accidentally in the next creation, and nothing will happen to the expectations of the human beings accidentally come to a nonsense, torturous end. That is impossible to accept, to digest. So let's continue. Each flower, there is a footnote here, so we will read it, the footnote, why this man is crazy about flower. The author is crazy about flower, giving this flower example, okay, which is like a word of divine wisdom, has meaning as numerous as the flowers on a tree, and each fruit, a wonder of God's workmanship, and a poem. It's a beautiful description, isn't it? Poem dictated by his mercy, has wise purposes as numerous as the fruits of a tree. Why do your parables consist of internet problem? Let's see. If you don't hear my voice at any point, please let me know. Sometimes I don't know why. So occasionally I am having a few seconds of internet interruptions. There must be a technical problem which is not known to me. So why this author says, why do your parables consist of chiefly of flowers, seeds, and fruits? It is very interesting. I had a professor, supposed to be one of my consultant in my higher degree studies. And he's an expert in his subject, which is the apostolic religion. So I benefited from him. Unfortunately, was sorry for him at the same time. He was a very intelligent man, working, but he studied to an extent new writings. He found out, but not all of them, obviously, maybe from, and do, that's a side note, not relevant to our subject, but it is interesting, exactly what I experienced really in my real life. So what the missions do, they read the book not from the beginning, but from the end. What does it mean? They read the book from the end of the book. They are interested in a particular subject. Maybe it is their right, but there's a general habit. I don't think many academicians read any book from cover to cover. It is a big business. In this age, this kind of people who are very meticulous about their work and really to understand whatever they are studying, really, not in science subject, that is different, in social subjects. they cannot be an academician because they cannot give many references. And if their thesis or an article or a book doesn't have many references, it is a simple book. It appears to be. To me, one has to study one book perfectly, but the book must be worth of studying. Anyways, this man again, I presume that didn't understand why the author of this book or the series of this book, this is just one volume of it, just the first volume of it, the beginning of his teaching, the first stage. So he said, this man is crazy about seeds. Keeps giving examples about seeds, yeah, and fruits. All right. He wrote it in an academic paper. I really remember he was my teacher. He was my teacher at undergraduate college education and also in my higher education. So now I have a very good relationship. I had a very good relationship. He passed away, unfortunately, before enlightening his spirit. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. God knows what it appears to be. So he said, what is the signal? Flower and seed, or keeps repeating these examples. Of course, we see flowers and seeds are very magnificent examples of God's work. He is demonstrating his capacity, saying that, look, I can create the same quality in as small as an atom, and at the same time, the same qualities manifest. My qualities, of what the Creator is speaking now, my qualities, the same qualities manifest in an as powerful as they are in both senses. It means in the micro world as well as in the macro world, macro scale, in an atom, in a whole universe, same qualities, so consistent. Why not to benefit from this perfect example? But on the other hand, the flowers has even more significant manifestations. As the author says, it looks like a poem, a love poem to human beings, to conscious beings. Look, I create this world in such a way that represented on the flower, nothing but my love for you is presented to you in this way of creation. We know as human beings, if we want to express our love to each other, we express through flowers. We don't speak because love cannot be describable in words, but in action. Of course, the love of the Creator is manifested in action in the form of flowers. And each flower points to the compassion, love, benedictions of God's announcement of his loving relationship with human beings. If a person, I see in my own existence, in my own life, as soon as God blessed me with a child, which I loved, because I was expecting, please God, give me a daughter. I love daughters. So he granted me a daughter. So I said, the daughter is a small creature, and in the womb of her mother, my wife. So growing. What's going on? And then She turned out to be a small creature like that. So, and something strange, moving, crying, or doing lots of interesting things. Where did they come from? And as she grew old, I said, if a person really experiences having a baby in his life, her life, and doesn't believe in God, he must really deserve the greatest punishment. He deserves it. So ungrateful this man is to the manifestations of the qualities of the Creator in the form of loving relationship with me. That is very important, because as she grew, the first time it looks like a little trouble, but at the same time, pleasure for the mother to look after the baby. Of course, motherhood has different feelings. Fatherhood has different feelings, but they are complementary. So it works out perfectly. So how this is arranged? If someone says, I thought to myself, not because I am a Muslim, I believe in God. No, just my witnessing of this real life existence, this phenomenon. So I said, if someone witnesses this and doesn't believe in God, really, he doesn't deserve any compassion at all. He's so ungrateful, man. Wow. And also, that was the really very interesting experience in my life. So come to the flower, the example of the flower. If someone looks at the flower and expresses her feeling, loving relationship with the flower and using the flower as a means of loving relationship with other people, and Steve says that it happened accidentally, this man deserves no compassion, no mercy at all. He must be taken into account and punished for the crime, the biggest crime, rejecting everything the real life demonstrates to him and the real existence within himself demonstrates that he loved the flower. Why? As a result of accidental happenings. All right. You men go to hell accidentally. Ask accident to save you. I would only say this. Because if a person is being unjust to the most generous man and saying that you don't exist, it means they're killing this man. If a person, can you imagine, is fed, well looked after well, and taking care of all needs, and then the man who receives all these favors, blessings from this person, and one day he decides, when he reaches the age of maturity now, majority, he says, I'm going to kill this man and free myself from him. Okay, kills this person who was being so generous to him. As a human being, what do you feel? When you use your feelings, then come to an end, to just conclusion. Do you think that it's okay? It maybe happened, it is. He received his favor accidentally, and he decided to kill this man accidentally. It happens, accident. Come on, you don't look for a reason for accident. Can you say that? Can you say this murderer? Not a murderer of a man in real life condition, living conditions, murderer of the Creator, compassionate Creator of this world, by denying it. If there was no other reason, whatever the Quran says about hell, soul tortures, etc., this man deserves it. That's my feeling say. Although I am sorry for him, but this man deserves it. No one says that a murder must be left alone and maybe also rewarded with something because he killed somebody really professionally. Do you think that this man will deserve his reward? Come on, which kind of human feelings these people have? So they will die away without receiving any punishment? Impossible, impossible. So our answer is that about the flower, I deviated the subject quite a lot. I'm sorry. Our answer is that they are the most wondrous, remarkable, and delicate of the miracles of God's power. Yeah, it is obvious. Moreover, since naturalists, philosophers, this is an important point. Yeah, naturalists, philosophers, and the people of misguidance have been unable to read the subtle script written upon them. They denied the beauty. They denied the purpose by the pen of destiny and power. I mean, written by the pen of destiny and power. They have choked on them and fallen into the swamp of nature. They said, it is naturally happened. Of course, it is not surprising that they deserve something and their death cannot be the end of all this crime. Cannot be. Unacceptable for any human being. As far as the fruit serving us as sustenance, it is merely one of those many thousand wise purposes. It fulfills this purpose, expresses its meanings, and dies being buried in our stomach. It means, purposefully dies in my stomach. Yeah, it must be. So even its death, it has a purpose with the fruit. Of course, it has many meanings in its existence. We know that how really the human needs are satisfied through these provisions perfectly according to our eyes, according to our feelings, and the beauty of the appearance of the fruit, and also taste and the other benefits, vitamins, whatever benefits us. All are obvious evidence that the creator of this universe, this fruit within this universe, is communicating with me and telling me no, that he loves me. No way to deny this. So when I eat it, I say, okay, he died, but really he died for a purpose. It died for a purpose. Okay, let's see and make the comparison between this example and our real life. So how about our death? Are we going to benefit anyone's body or life by being a food for them? No, rotten. Only the, of course, bugs benefit from me, not a human being. So it means, if there is no other word, my end, my death becomes also meaningless. So anyway, everything becomes meaningless if we deny the resurrection, necessity of the resurrection, really. Since these transient beings yield eternal fruits in another place, leave their permanent forms of themselves and express their everything meanings, everlasting meanings, since they engage in ceaseless glorification of the Maker. Of course, they are announcing it. And since the glorification of their Maker, it means announcing the qualities of their Maker. And since man becomes man by pursuing these aspects of the things that are oriented to the hereafter, everything is oriented to the hereafter, really, if we pay attention to them carefully, thus finding this way to eternity by means of the transient. Since all of this is true, although the word is transit, but what they refer to the permanent existence of somewhere else. Since all of this is true, there must be some other purpose for all these beings that are cast around between life and death, and that are first gathered and then dispersed. There must be a meaning in this relationship. I am brought into this world and given all this opportunity to experience the qualities of who has created me, and then I am taken away from this world. I mean, it's obvious that we are really enrolling, when we come to this world, we are enrolling with the educational institutions, and then receiving education there, and then we are graduating, but we are not graduating for non-existence. We are graduating to enjoy the results of our learnings. I mean, that is the purpose of education. Otherwise, it is impossible to explain in another way. Okay. Okay. There is no error in this comparison. The above-mentioned state of affairs resembles circumstances formed and arranged by way of imitation and representation. Brief gatherings and the dispersions are at great expense, merely for the sake of taking pictures. Now, what is going on here? Because when a group of people want to take a picture, what do? They get together, and then everyone, okay, smile now, or some people say cheese, and then take the picture. Why? For the sake of taking pictures that can thereafter be shown in this cinema. I mean, the author lived in the 10th century, so we are in the 11th century. Not necessarily we have to go to the it's not my culture, so where the films are demonstrated, movie theater. So, but nowadays, really, the screen of the computers or TVs and smartphones are functioning this way. Now, that doesn't matter. It's an example. So they are going to be really, especially the wedding celebrations are filmed, etc. So people keep them, and then whoever comes, they show what we were having there. Is it the restaurant? It's the place or wedding hall, on how these people came. These are my uncles and aunts, and etc. etc. Why do they take the video of their lovable, memorable moments of their life in order to see them later? Now, every moment of this world is a memorable life. Every day is I would call it an wedding celebration, getting to know who my creator is. And I am really, if you like, introducing myself to him. He is always introducing himself to me. That is a kind of relationship, and every day I am recording it, and also he is recording it. He must be recording it because there is a purpose. It is going to be demonstrated in another realm of existence. So too, one of the reasons for our passage through individual and social life in this life, for a brief time, get together, take a picture, and disperse. A brief time. But is it worth it? Yeah, because all this moment is going to be demonstrated again and again in another realm of life. Now, this is also is to enable pictures to be taken and images formed to enable the results of our deeds to be registered and recorded. Now, what are we going to do with this registered deeds for display on a day of accounting? That is the purpose. for being shown at a vast gathering, which is called, in the Quranic language, Hashr. The literal translation is gathering, resurrections, and to yield the fruit of supreme happiness, so that they will be given their degrees and they will be congratulated there. Those who deserve it, of course, who don't deserve it, they will say, okay, no degree for you, go. So they will be sorry, but I hope it won't be too late for them. So the noble saying of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, what did he say? This word is the tillage for the hereafter. That's the brief description of the purpose of this word. We are here sowing, and at the end we are sown here, our body, but the harvest is going to be taken or obtained in another realm. Now, this indicates this. Since the word exists, and within this word, wisdom, beneficence, compassion, and justice also exists. We see it. With their numerous evidences of a certainty, the hereafter also exists, just as surely as does this word. It means the authors concluded that. Are you sure that this word exists? No one is crazy. Okay, some people may say, all right, this word doesn't exist, it's just an image. Okay, how about your image? Your image exists, man. I'm done. So your existence is also real. You are experiencing, even when you say, I am an image, while you are saying this, you prove that you exist. So, I mean, this is human reasoning. Come on. Some people become lunatic in the name of philosophy. So, all right, leave them in their field, as the Quran says. Leave them play in their vain talk. But the reality is out there. So, if this world exists, definitely, necessarily, hereafter must exist. That is the conclusion the author reaches. As a result of intellectual journey, we notice that it doesn't say, oh, the scripture, the Quran or the Revelation tells us about its existence, so we have to believe in it because we don't know, God knows. This kind of, to me, absurd argumentations, meaningless, begging the question, or just really a vicious circle way of thinking, he never ever entertains in his writings. He looks at the reality of world and me. But at the end, definitely, the author will say, oh, that's my conclusion as a result of my real life existence. And there is a man who claims that I am given news from the Creator. And in this news, the Creator is really giving good tidings, good news, and happy news for you, that there will be an eternal life. Oh, definitely, this man is saying the truth. Yeah, that is my reality, confirms my reality. So let me see, take it seriously, and then get the guidance from him how to reason in order to come to this conclusion. So that is the end of his intellectual journey. So since one aspect of everything in this world is turned to that word and is proceeding towards it, everything is really pointing to another word. To deny that word would be that word. It means what everything is pointing to the necessary existence of another creation, would be denying this word with all it contains. It means, in order to deny the hereafter, as it is well known, the reality of resurrection, one first has to deny the existence of this world. Look at this argument. I really love it. Without denying the existence and reality of this world, you cannot deny the existence of the hereafter. Impossible. That is why the author has been presenting to us many, many venues to make sense of the necessity of this world, the next creation, and also make the opposite understanding, denying the resurrection understanding has no base whatsoever. So we have to be serious about thinking of the resurrection, that it must happen, and of course, to believe the next creation will really happen has a purpose also in and of itself. Why? If there is another creation, it means whatever I do, whatever I choose, whatever I practice here in this world is not going to be forgotten. And my fruit of my life is not going to be buried with my simple flesh in the graveyard. No. The gatherings is there taking the pictures. These pictures are going to be used somewhere. Why do you think people put all the security cameras there? Why? Are they crazy? Of course, they are taking the pictures. If there is something strange happens, they are going to use it as an evidence at the court of divine justice. That is impossible to deny. Everybody who has a security camera in his property cannot deny this. Why do you do that? So this universe also created in such a way that everything must be recorded, as we witness in the existence of the animal life, plant life, human life. Everything is recorded. If someone does any favor to you, 10 years ago, he did it. And this man went somewhere, you went somewhere, 10 years, you haven't seen any each other at all. Okay, let's assume that. And then one day, in a journey on a train or bus, the man sits next to you. You say, I'm sorry, I know you, I think. Do you remember me? Oh, yeah, I will remember you. You are such and such man. Yeah. You know, you helped me that time. Oh, I was so happy. I'm pleased with you. So what are you doing here? He said, I just came here to as a tourist to see around. And really? So, and where are you going to stay? Now, this is not human. No, not very modern life requires this, but human necessity. In a hotel, I think, I don't know. I haven't just reserved them. Come on, live with me. Wouldn't you like? Wouldn't you like to just keep your memory 10 years later and continue having your good relationship? Yeah, it is recorded here, Airman, for a purpose, so that when you encounter again, you remember it and act accordingly. So everything is recorded in our memory, what we have done. For what? I'm going to die and everything will disappear. All my records in my memory. Why am I keeping them there? since at the end they are going to be buried away and forgotten about. No, they are going to be used, definitely. So let us just see here the last sentence here. Just as the allotted hour and the grave await men, of course, to execute the justice, so too the paradise and hell anxiously watching for his arrival. Come. That is perfectly understandable, and that perfectly fits the description of hell and paradise in the message that the prophet brought to us. They are anxious. Are there any more? I can consume it. The hell is saying. Paradise is saying, are there any more? I can accommodate them. I can indicate them. I am endless. I have a huge space. That's what I was given. So in their nature, the reward of paradise is waiting for the loyal, honest, consistent people with their nature. And the hell is waiting for the dishonest, disloyal, irrespectful, ungrateful people. Come and I will know what to do with you. That is what the reality of this world is. Inshallah, next week, somebody will pick up this moderatorship, and please, let's change the voice. Please, I'm waiting for anyone who really signs up for the moderatorship and just say, or let any of us know that he would like to, or she would like to do it. So let's start from the 11th truth next week. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.